Good afternoon, I'm still Jeremy and I'm here in Sakai City, just south of Osaka City, and I'm at a station called Nakamozu Station. Today I'm going to ride one of the final rides of a train line that the train company is actually disappearing in a few days. It's called the Semboku-Kosoku Line. It goes from here, Nakamozu, to 5 more stations, the last station being Izumichuo, and then it stops. It doesn't connect to any other train line there, so it's kind of this weird spur line. But it is going away, in a way. So I'm just gonna ride the train. It comes quite often to each of the stations, like every 10 or 15 minutes, so I don't really have a schedule to stick with. I'm just gonna ride, see as many of the stations as I can, of the 5 stations besides this one, Nakamozu. I'm gonna walk around the areas and stuff, see what I can see, and then I wanna be at the final station, Izumichuo, by 4 o'clock today, 4 p.m., because this very weird train, which I can't understand why it exists, leaves from that station back up to Osaka, and I want to ride that. So here we are, final look at the Semboku line before it stops being the Semboku line. The private Semboku-Kosoku Line, the only train line situated almost entirely in the city of Sakai, has been absorbed by the larger Nankai train company after 54 years of independence. Today I'm taking a last look at the Semboku line while it's still called that. It's the end of an era for this busy suburban service, and my goal is to find out where exactly the trains go and what the areas around the stations are like. And I will be doing the checklist today, and I'm in a generous and expensive mood, so anything counts anywhere I see it, whether or not I'm on the train. And here's some graffiti first thing, so mark that off the list. The Nakamozu Station was first made in 1917, and it's right now shared by 3 different train lines. There's the Osaka Metro, the subway, which I rode here, and the main train line is the Nankai line, and Nankai is a bigger train company around Osaka and the south of Osaka. It goes out to Mount Koya and all that amazingness. It goes to the airport. So if you've ever ridden a train between Osaka and the Osaka airport, the Kansai airport, you may have been on a Nankai train. And the other one is the Semboku line. And the Semboku line has only been running since 1971, so as of this video, 54 years old. But before we leave Nakamozu and get on the train, I'm going to stop off for a quick lunch at Detour coffee shop, and then I want to tell you a little bit about this area and why the name Nakamozu is so bizarre. New menu item. Steak sandwich in red wine sauce. Pretty swanky for a cheap little chain cafe. And a coffee. All right, belly a little bit full, not the biggest lunch in the world, but you know, it's all right. So about the station name and this area's name, Nakamozu. It's very unusual even for Japanese people. So there's 4 kanji. The meaning of the kanji is middle or within, 100, tongue, and bird. But that's not the weird part. The first kanji is naka, and it's very, very, very common. You see it everywhere, naka. So that means the final 3 kanji are mozu, which is only 2 syllables, mozu. But each kanji really needs to have at least 1 syllable. So the whole 3 kanji together is just mozu. It's very unusual, and it's actually a known word in Japan. It's a type of bird, a mozu. But to read the station name just from the kanji, you have to kind of be aware of that super common word, mozu. So to get around this, or to deal with it, the 3 different train companies deal with it in 3 different ways. The Osaka subway, the metro, they just write it out in the phonetical hiragana. So you can easily see that, Nakamozu. The Nankai line uses the kanji and just hopes you can understand it, Nakamozu. And the Semboku line uses naka, the kanji, and then the hiragana for mozu. So none of them really great, but 3 different ways to figure out the name of Nakamozu. So in just a few days from now, the Semboku line will be absorbed into Nankai. It's already done, they've already bought it and everything, and it's going to stop being called the Semboku line. It will just be a part of the Nankai network. So I don't even know where here the Semboku line is. I guess it's inside the Nankai station. They've always had a kind of a real close relationship, and trains will kind of share the tracks and go between them and stuff. So I'm going to go inside the Nankai station and see if the Semboku line is indeed in there. All right, mine's at 4:20. I didn't wear my watch today. 4:28, which is 4 minutes from now. There are such a short line, there are 4 classifications of trains on it. There's like a local, which stops at every station only on this line. The one I'm getting on is the same exact thing, a local, but it kind of goes along the Nankai line up to Osaka or something. And then 2 others, including the weird one I'm going to take at the end of the day, I hope. So I need platform 2. That's platform 1. Okay. Here is 2. A lot of people out today because it's a holiday. It's a Thursday, but today is a national holiday because it's the first day of spring. And right on cue, it is warmer than it has been. Even warmer than it was an hour ago, so no coat.
My first train pulled into Nakamozu right on time, and I noticed that the word Semboku on the side had already been replaced with Nankai.
Okay, here we are. The train actually says Nankai on the outside, not Semboku. I don't know if there are any more Semboku trains. I kind of hope to see one today. But I'm going to get off at the very next station, which is called Fukai, because I feel kind of sorry for it. I'm probably not going to have time to get off at every single station today, I don't think. See how it goes, but I'm definitely getting off the next one because it needs all the help it can get. All right, so here's the deal with this line. So I got on at Nakamozu. This is the entire Semboku line. Nakamozu, Fukai, Izumigaoka, Toga, Mikita, Komyoike, and Izumichuo. And here are the 4 types of trains, 4 train classifications. They all stop at every single station, except Fukai. The Limited Express does not stop here. Doesn't even stop at Nakamozu either. But Nakamozu's got plenty of attention. What I'm worried about is Fukai. This is the only train line here in Fukai, the Semboku line, and not all the trains stop here. I feel bad for us. Let's go see Fukai a little bit. Now, first things first, a police motor scooter, or a scooter parked out in front of the police office. And never difficult to spot, a hair salon, the Semboku hair salon. So Fukai means deep well. And the story is that in the 600s and 700s, there was this monk called Gyoki. And Gyoki was known to, he was like a Buddhist monk, but he was known to buck the authorities if he wanted to go against the rules in the service of people, to help the poor and help people who need housing and food and stuff. So he's kind of a good guy, and apparently the story is that he dug a well here, a deep well, to give people clean water. And so the place is called Fukai. I'd like to get a carbonated water for the day, but I don't know if you can read that. It's 130 in here, which is a bit pricey. Maybe that's just what they cost these days, but I would like to find one that's closer to 110 maybe. It's one of those things you just can't really explain. The $10 members lounge. I will remind you that we don't use dollars in Japan. Looks cool though, the $10 bar. This place will buy your old Rolex, even if it has no band, and if it doesn't even work, and it's really old, they'll buy it. Well, I may not have brought us to the most exciting place in Fukai, but I would imagine that most of the day is going to be kind of like this, just because I think the main point of the Semboku line is to take people back to the kind of suburbs and stuff. There's a lot of people. None of the stations on today's line are used too infrequently. They're all really, really popular. So I don't quite know why the line is losing money. I know COVID made it take a big hit. I guess more people are working from home, so they're not commuting, so they're not riding the train. So ridership did go down suddenly in 2020, but not down to nothing. I think it's still a viable company. Most stations still get 15 to 25,000 riders a day, you know. The Nankai company still thinks it's worth keeping up. I think this monument probably represents the well that the Buddhist monk Gyoki dug all those years ago. Cool monument. Well, this monument is covered in Japanese kanji, and I can't read it. One side seems to be a bunch of names, and one side is stuff I ought to be able to read, but I can't. So I'm going to go back into the station and find the next train to the next station that I get off at. Well, just missed my train by 1 minute, but the next one's in 9 minutes from now, so I've got time to sit here on the platform and enjoy my 130 yen water that I did buy, and a little snack to go with that tiny lunch. There's a train sign here on the platform, by the way, for Fukai. It is SB02, meaning Semboku-02. So when Nankai takes over next week, it will not be SB anything. It'll be whatever Nankai's numbering system is. By the way, I don't really make this clear. When the Nankai company takes over next week, nothing really changes. It's the same line, it's the same stations, it's the same times of each train. It's just that they won't be called Semboku anymore, and it'll be one more little private train company disappearing and another bigger train company getting bigger. So no real practical change for the people who use the line, but still kind of shed a tear. Pour one out for Semboku Line. I think my train is coming right here. And this one has a bunch of art on it, something related to golf, but also the fact that Nankai's taken over the Semboku Line, I think.
泉ヶ丘、泉ヶ丘です。
Okay, we just stopped at Izumigaoka Station, but I didn't get off. I wanted to, but I really got to get to the end of this line, the final station, so I can catch this super special train back, which I'm way overhyping, so don't expect like the second coming of some train god or something. But it's a big deal, maybe only to me, but it's just a totally bizarre thing that exists on this line. So I'm looking forward to that, but it only leaves very seldom. So 4:02 p.m. is when I have to be there at that station to leave. And I really want to stop at a stop called Komyoike on this line because there's something really cool there. So I'm having to adjust my time and my desires, as always when traveling and wandering.
At the last minute, I jumped off the train at the next station, Toga Mikita, but I probably shouldn't have. It ate up precious time. But curiosity got the best of me. See my wanderings at Toga Mikita in the extended version of this video at patreon.com/T1DWanderer.
Okay, this is Komyoike Station. And do you know what Komyo means? I don't really. Something about bright light. But Ike is a very common word and it means pond. And near here, there is Komyo Pond. It's just named after the pond. So I have seen this pond on Google Maps when I was researching this train line. And it just looked really big and really cool. And I think I'll have time to go investigate it and see what's around there because it looks like a really pretty place to be. I'm not exactly sure where it is. I only vaguely know that it's southish. Okay, you are here. North is that way. That's really not helpful. Is that it? That's not it. Oh, here it is, the big one. Okay, this big one, so I have to go out just there somewhere. Wow. Cart without an obachan. That's some bad luck right there. One thing I forgot to research is how long does it take to walk there? Oh, I thought that was even better graffiti, but it's a sticker. Boo. So just so you know, it's if you can see that, 3:28, which means I really don't have time for this because I think I want to catch a 3:54 train at the latest. I will also admit to you that I kind of goofed around all morning because I thought, well, I don't want to get out there too early because I won't have anything to do along that train line. And as has happened with every single video I've ever done on this channel, I didn't think there would be much there to do, and there was way more than I thought. There's always more to see than I thought. I just checked the map. I don't have time. I'm not even halfway there, and I just don't have time. So just imagine that there was a really great pond in this. I know, see, the viewers are upset already, screaming at me already. So imagine there was a great pond in this video, and actually there kind of was at the beginning. There was some water, some good ponds, you know, so that's the pond. But let's turn this into a positive. Now that means I get to wander around this area, which looks kind of cool to me because it looks like it's in disrepair and overgrown, and that is what I absolutely love because it's so interesting looking. So let's go on this walkway, which I've not seen anybody else using today, and we'll wander around over here. Well, you would think in a place like a suburbs like this with so many people that someone could turn this into something. Kind of dead now. I don't know why I've heard of Komyoike. It's just a name I've seen around. I think maybe I used to work for a company that had an office here or something. But it has not been as nice as the other places I've been. The other places seem like more upscale. Komyoike was added to the line in 1977, and for the longest time, this was the end. So the train line went from Nakamozu just to here. It was only in 1995, which to me seems pretty recent, but I guess now that I think about it, was 30 years ago. Then they added the final one, Izumichuo. And I don't know what Izumichuo is like yet, but this one here, Komyoike, this area feels like the end of a train line that doesn't connect anywhere. And again, I mean that in a good way. Feels like real life here. Hey, even better. The best graffiti of the day so far. All right, there you go. Obachan with a cart. I mean, that's almost cut into circles, but no, doesn't count. Hey, how about these? How about these? Trees cut into circles? Yeah, let's count it.
I went to the final station, Izumichuo, and rushed around trying to buy a last-minute ticket on the exclusive Semboku liner back to Namba Station in Osaka. See my experience aboard this most unusual limited express service in the extended version of this video at patreon.com/T1DWanderer.
Number, station number NK01. Our final stop.
Well, I quite enjoyed the Semboku line. My last look at the Semboku line. Pity that it's going away, but I'm glad it will still exist. Here's the list today. Abandoned bicycle, interesting statue or figurine, motor scooter, Obachan with cart, notable bird, cartoon drawing on a sign, graffiti, hair salon, tree cut into circles, car elevator, beer vending machine. So if you ever make it here to Osaka and if you ride this train, it will no longer be the Semboku line, it will be the Nankai line. So say goodbye to the Semboku line, excuse me. Okay. So, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.
Watch today's full video, plus more exclusive travelogues, video diaries, and other stuff as a paid or free supporter at patreon.com/T1DWanderer. Thanks to everyone helping me keep this channel alive. Special thanks this week in random order to Samantha, Calvin Ferreira, Darcy Otranto, Ray Nichols, Will Phillips, Lever Wong, David Richley, Michael Fedor, Matt Kane, and Russell Davis. Thanks for wandering through Osaka with me. Everywhere is worth exploring.